wedding doors burst open.
Don't leave
Gasps
me!
echoed across the hall as a small boy ran straight down the aisle, his tiny voice trembling but loud enough to stop everything. Mom, don't leave me! Amina froze. Ji-hoon's expression darkened as the boy crashed into her, wrapping his arms tightly around her waist, holding her like she might disappear. The guests began whispering. Phones lifted, cameras flashed. Ji-hoon didn't smile, didn't move. He just stared at the child like he was something that didn't belong there. The boy slowly looked up at him, eyes wide with hope. "Are you my dad now?" Ji-hoon didn't hesitate. No. The silence that followed was heavier than the ceremony itself. Amina closed her eyes for a second, steadying herself, and right there in front of everyone, the truth was already clear. This marriage wasn't about love, it was about revenge. But the man standing there had no idea that the same child he just rejected would become the only reason he would ever learn how to love. If that opening pulled you in, take 1 second, like this video, and subscribe because this story will stay with you till the end. Ji-hoon didn't just lose love, he lost himself. It happened on a stage, bright lights, applause, his company's biggest celebration. And right in the middle of it, Min-soo smiled, took the microphone, and reached for another man's hand. His best friend, his partner, his brother in everything except blood. The room went silent. Ji-hoon laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "Tell me this is a joke." Min-soo didn't even blink. "You were never enough for me." The words didn't just sting, they buried themselves deep. The next morning, the world knew. Not his achievements, not his success, just his humiliation. People whispered, laughed, watched, and Ji-hoon stopped feeling. "I won't be the one people pity," he told himself. He didn't want closure, he wanted control and revenge. Quiet revenge. The kind that makes someone question everything they thought they won. And that was when he saw her. Amina stood outside a clinic holding a piece of paper like it might fall apart if she breathed too hard. Bills, numbers she couldn't meet. But her face wasn't desperate, it was determined. That was what caught Ji-hoon. He approached her. "I need a wife." She looked up slowly. "You need what?" "A contract marriage, 1 year." She stood immediately. "No. I'll pay you." "No. I'll cover your son's medical bills." That stopped her. Her fingers tightened around the paper. "You don't know me." "I don't need to." "And what do you get?" she asked. Ji-hoon's voice was calm. "Revenge." Amina studied him carefully. "You're broken," she said. Ji-hoon didn't react. "And you think using someone else will fix that?" "It's not about fixing anything." "Then what?" "Winning." Silence. Amina looked toward the clinic doors, then back at him. "My son comes with me." "That's a problem." "He's not a problem," she said firmly. "He's my life." Ji-hoon sighed. "Fine, but he stays out of my way." Amina shook her head slightly. "You don't understand children." "I don't need to." That was his first mistake. Kelechi didn't understand contracts. He understood waiting. "Mom, I'll wait for you," he said every night. "No matter how late, no matter how tired, I'll wait." The first week in the house felt like living with strangers. Ji-hoon kept his distance. "This isn't real," he reminded her. "I know," Amina replied. "Don't expect anything from me." "I don't." "And your son?" "Kelechi. He doesn't interfere." Amina's voice hardened. "He exists. That's not interference." Ji-hoon didn't respond, but the tension stayed. The next morning, Kelechi sat at the table, legs swinging. When Ji-hoon walked in, he smiled. "Good morning." Silence. "Are you always serious?" Kelechi asked. Ji-hoon sighed. "Eat your food." Kelechi nodded. Then, quietly, "I can wait." "For what?" "For you to like me." Ji-hoon paused for a second, then walked away. That night, Ji-hoon came home late. The lights were off, but Kelechi was still awake. "You're still up?" Ji-hoon asked. "I said I would wait." "Why?" Kelechi shrugged. "Because good people don't leave." That sentence stayed. Days passed, then small moments started slipping through. Kelechi left food outside Ji-hoon's door. "It might get cold," he said. Ji-hoon didn't respond, but he ate it. At school, a boy pushed Kelechi. "You don't even have a real dad." Kelechi stood up. "I do." "Where is he?" Kelechi hesitated, then said quietly, "He's busy, but he'll come." That evening, Ji-hoon saw the bruise. "Who did that?" Kelechi shrugged. "It's nothing." Ji-hoon's voice sharpened. "Who?" "Why do you care?" Kelechi asked softly. That question hit harder than expected. Ji-hoon didn't answer. "If you're still watching, this is where everything begins to change. Be honest, would you still keep your distance if you were him?" The call came the next day. "This is the school. Your son collapsed." Ji-hoon froze. He didn't correct them. He just ran. The hospital was too quiet. Amina stood there shaking. "He didn't want to worry me," she said. Ji-hoon looked at Kelechi. So small, so still. For the first time, fear hit him. Hours later, Kelechi opened his eyes. "You came." Ji-hoon swallowed. "Yes." "I knew you would," he whispered. He reached out. Ji-hoon didn't hesitate this time. He held his hand. "Don't go." "I won't." And for the first time, he meant it. After that, things changed. Slowly. Real. Ji-hoon started coming home earlier, sitting at the table, listening, watching. "Can you help me with this?" Kelechi asked one evening. Ji-hoon took the book. "You did this wrong." "Oh." "Try again." Kelechi smiled. "You sound like a teacher." Ji-hoon almost smiled. Almost. Meanwhile, Min-so watched everything. At first, she laughed. Then she saw something she didn't expect. Ji-hoon wasn't pretending. He was changing, and that made her angry. She showed up one afternoon. Amina opened the door. Min-so looked at her up and down. So this is who he chose. Amina stayed calm. "He didn't choose me." Min-so smirked. "Exactly." Kelechi stepped forward. "Who are you?" Min-so smiled sweetly. "Someone who knows the truth." Amina's eyes narrowed. "What truth?" "That your marriage is fake." That was the moment everything broke. That night, Amina held the contract in her shaking hands. Every word, every condition, every lie. Ji-hoon walked in. She didn't shout, didn't cry immediately. She just looked at him. "You didn't just lie to me," she said quietly. Ji-hoon stayed silent. "You used my child to feel something you couldn't fake." That hit him. Hard. "I didn't." "You let him believe you were real." Silence. "You watched him wait for you every single day." Ji-hoon couldn't defend himself because she was right. The next morning, she packed. Kelechi stood there. "Are we leaving?" "Yes." He looked at Ji-hoon. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," Ji-hoon said quickly. "Then why are you not stopping us?" Ji-hoon's voice broke. "I don't know how." As they walked out, "I'll still wait for you," he said, and this time it shattered him. The house felt empty, cold, wrong. Ji-hoon walked into the living room, saw the drawing. 3 people, but now Dad was scratched out. That was his lowest point. He searched for them, failed, called, no answer, returned home, nothing. Days passed, but the silence was louder than anything. Until one day, he found them. He knocked, waited. Amina opened the door. "What do you want?" Ji-hoon didn't hesitate. "I was wrong." Silence. "I thought revenge would fix me, but all it did was show me what I lost." Amina's eyes filled with tears. "You don't get a second chance in one apology." "I know." "And my son?"
Jihoon's voice softened. He made me better. Kelechi appeared. You came back. Jihoon knelt. I should have never left. Will you leave again? Jihoon shook his head. No. Kelechi smiled. I knew you'd come. I waited. Jihoon looked at Amina. I don't deserve a second chance, but I'll earn it even if it takes forever. Amina turned away, silent, thinking, feeling everything at once. You hurt us, she said finally. I know. You broke his trust. Jihoon lowered his head. I know. Long silence. Then, for him, she said slowly, I'll try. And sometimes, love doesn't begin the right way. Sometimes it begins in pain, in mistakes, in things we wish we could undo.
But if it changes you, if it makes you better, then maybe it's worth a second chance. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And now tell me honestly, if you were in Amina's position, would you trust him again, or would you walk away forever?